What's going on, guys, and welcome in to the Bench is Clear podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants.
And I'm Tyler Cohen. I represent the side of the World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers.
It's getting old already. We're done last year. We don't live in the past anymore. We're going to talk about some offseason stuff really quick. First thing, qualifying offers. Kevin Gausman accepted it. I was not expecting it. I was expecting them to work out, and they still can. Okay.
Can we put in the sound right there?
No, because I'm in control of that.
Because you were way wrong.
Well, until next week when they announce the extension, I'll be wrong until then. But I mean, 18.9 mil ain't bad for Kevin Gausman. I don't think he's going to be too upset with it. So I mean, even if he got a 2-year deal for that much, I think he would.
I don't think he was expecting that before or last offseason. I don't think he could have imagined making $19 million.
But there's a definite argument that he was a steal, at least for the Giants, a steal of the season. Maybe not, because there is a lot of underpaid guys like Yastrzemski and all that kind of stuff because they're still in their first couple of years. But he's got to be up there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm sorry. I'm still nursing
the
World Series hangover, with my sweet new beer koozie.
Unbelievable. And as we're talking about qualifying offers, I do want to mention Marcus Strowman accepting it, which kind of shocked me.
Couldn't believe that. I thought he fleeced the Mets. I thought he, opted out of COVID, and I thought he fleeced them and he was done. But I think that
a lot of Mets fans have a lot of explaining to do with all the shit they talked about him for opting out mid-season.
Right. Well, I think that just goes to show that people believe in this new ownership group. And I think the Mets are going to be big players now in free agency. So we'll see. But I think that's definitely going to be a thing.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot to be excited for if you're a Met fan. Honestly, the stuff that I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name, Stephen Cohen, whatever. All the shit he was saying was like a dream. Now about how he's doing this for the fans. He's not. I mean, obviously he's going to make an abundance of money. But to be like, I'm not going to squeeze every bit of money out. I'd rather create something special. To say that and make that statement is the first. I mean, obviously he has to do it, but
yeah,
is a huge step. And I can't remember any owner saying anything close to that.
The Dodger ownership group did after Frank McCourt royally screwed the team and just fucked everything up. That ownership group came in and said, we want to win. And they've done nothing but since.
Okay, but the winning is different than, hey, I'm not going to try to squeeze every bit of money out, and we're going to do this for the fans to create something special. That's a little bit different. Every team says they want to win. Every team says they want to win.
He's implying that he's not going to let money get in the way of winning. That's the differentiator here, is he's going to be willing to spend money. Also, huge congratulations to Trevor Bauer, the 2020 Cy Young winner. Congrats. The future Dodger who's going to sign for 4 years within the next few months, as I've already predicted.
No, they're not going to spend that money on a starter when they got all that young talent, dude. Not going to happen. Especially they got David Price. Nah,
David Price going one more year.
Still, I don't see it. I mean, if anyone pulls it off, it might be the Dodgers because they got that money. But and their team's pretty attractive. Was Bauer's unanimous, or was it just Bieber?
No, Bieber got unanimous. He got 31st place votes, and Bauer got 27. So it was close.
Pretty close.
Darvish got a couple.
Kevin Cash won Manager of the Year. That's pretty funny.
For the Dodgers. I mean, he definitely deserves it. He really does.
Yeah, because it's just regular season.
And the Don Mattingly one, I get it. I mean, that team is shit, and they made the playoffs, and they had the COVID outbreak and had so many different players. So I get it. But having experienced Don Mattingly as a manager for however many years, I don't see it. And I think it's kind of a poor excuse giving a guy who got bounced from the playoffs in what normally would be the first round manager of the year. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it was just the obvious turmoils and the lack of talent on the roster and where he took them. That's usually where the manager of the year ask like what who gets appointed. So, and maybe a shortened season helped, and they had to jump over a few COVID hurdles. I mean, self-inflicted COVID hurdles, but still. And manager of the year is just a funny one to me because there's just so many like times where like a one-off manager will win it, and then 2 years later he'll get fired. But like someone like Bruce Bochy didn't win in any of the Giants' heyday, like when he would like led an underrated team to a World Series multiple times. It's like I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me. I feel like that's the least highest award of them all, and
yeah, I feel like
more flukes get it than anything.
Yeah, it's the most worthless award.
Yeah, there we go. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, because I mean, Dave Roberts won it in his first year, hasn't won it since. In his first year, we got bounced in the CS. Then we make the World Series 2 years in a row. Now we win the World Series, and he's not really a part of the conversations. Do I care? No. Do you care that Bochy didn't win and got 3 World Series? No,
no, definitely not. I'd rather have the World Series ring.
Right.
But and rookies of the year, Kyle Lewis and Devin Williams. It's really cool when a reliever gets it because I mean, obviously he was extremely dominant. And it was a shame he wasn't in the first round of the playoffs, where the only place the Brewers played. But his shit's good. I love it. I mean, Kyle Lewis, unanimous.
Dude, Kyle Lewis,
of the year, love it.
Kyle Lewis helped carry my fantasy team this year as a rookie. I took a chance on him, and he was great. And I mean, I think the Mariners don't have anything to be excited about except for Kyle Lewis. It's pretty much all they got. So
they got a loaded farm system. So, and I'm glad they didn't give it to Luis Robert because of all the hype with everything going on with the White Sox and how MLB was just so on, which he's very good and they should be promoting him, but Kyle Lewis had the better year. So yeah,
I just want to make a quick point for everyone who was shitting on me earlier this year. I don't think I really said it on the podcast, but I was very vocal about it just in my personal life about how Gavin Lux wasn't going to be even close to rookie of the year. Yeah, bow down.
Damn.
Wasn't even close.
You should have said it more on the podcast, and if you would have said it more, he would have been rookie of the year.
Yeah, right.
Given how your takes have went this season.
Yeah, I think we're going to be talking about him a lot in the upcoming weeks. Scenario.
He'll still be a prospect. So this year, I believe. I mean, he's still a prospect. I think
he'll
right?
be eligible for rookie of the year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's definitely a possibility. So you can put that negative juju on him if you want.
Give me Zach McKinstry any day. Our boy Zach.
Zach McKinney. I love it. One thing we do got to talk about really fast before we get into our interview for the interview for the episode. We got to talk about Mac Williamson suing the Giants. Not a good look. He obviously tripped over the pitching mounds, the bullpen mounds at AT&T, falling headfirst into the wall. And while Bryce Harper was up, and you see Bryce Harper on that little replay. I get it. As far as being upset, feeling like they took your career because he feels like he still feels it. But fuck, dude, you knew they were there. Like, you can't sue a team for that.
But that's bullshit. I mean, you're required to play there. There's nothing you can do. As a player, you can't be like, oh, I'm going to sit out this game because there's this potential danger that only, 3 stadiums have because it's a horrible idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
but to sue a team, I don't know. I'm not for it.
They potentially ended his career, as he stated, and the Giants are $1 billion organization, and you're suing him for what, $22 million, I believe it was, something around that. Like, come on, really?
Yeah, I hate. Because here's the thing. In my head, it's like you knew they were there. If that they're there, you should you can't blame someone for you falling. That's in my head. But at the same time, I'm also not going to be like, let's save the millions from the $1 billion company. You know what I mean?
But that logic's the same as there's an inherent risk when driving your car. So if some drunk driver hits you and causes a horrible injury, you're not going to.
That would be like you. But that would be like you causing the accident.
He didn't cause it. He didn't.
Yes, he did. He ran right into it. He knew that was there.
When you're tracking down a ball, you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I disagree with
you know what?
hardly on this one.
I'm not a fan of it, but at the same time, get your money, Mac. I don't know. I'm
They're
just
not
ignorant
fun.
to it, I guess. But
You're just an ignorant son of a bitch.
I'm ignorant. That's what I am. We have a great guest for you guys. But let's talk in some lighter points. And I would like to welcome into the Benches Cleared podcast our favorite catcher, Giants opening day catcher, Tyler Heineman. What's going on, my guy?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me.
So how's your offseason going, man?
That's good. I mean, got my wife and I just bought a house last December, but we really moved in during the pandemic. So this is the first off season that I get to really live in the house, and we have some house repairs that need to be done, and she works, so that's my job.
Oh, you got the honeydews then.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
Have you hurt yourself at all doing some stuff yet?
No, knock on wood. I haven't hurt myself, but I enjoy doing it. It's fun getting to know kind of like, fixing things and rewiring electrical stuff and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting. So, I'm excited to keep learning.
YouTube is a wonderful thing.
Yes, YouTube is a wonderful thing, but there are some things that you have to learn from. Like one of my dad's buddies is a contractor, so like I just talk to him. I feel like it's a little bit more of a full encompassing way to approach a situation than to just go, hey, my electrical outlet is messed up, and then I just follow what YouTube says, because I could be missing something. Or
let me just slam a screwdriver in there and see what happens. See if I get a shock.
Yeah, pretty much.
I actually bought a house in the 1950s. Like, no, the house was built in the 1950s. I obviously didn't buy one in the 1950s. And something went wrong with a circuit breaker, and we opened the panel, and there was only 4 circuits on that thing, without even a main. Yeah, so I literally almost killed myself trying to pull out a circuit, like one of the busted ones. And I guess like when the screwdriver hit the top of the circuit, the electrical panel, it made it ground, and it just craziness. So if the handle wasn't rubber, I probably wouldn't be here.
Seriously, that's freaky.
That's what happens when you don't want to pay someone to do your shit, though. So
yeah, jeez.
Yeah, so don't do what Jesse does.
Don't do it. Yeah.
And I feel like, I mean, it's good that you enjoy doing it, but if you didn't, I feel like you have a pretty easy way out. Like, honey, the future of my career kind of depends on me not being hurt, so I'm just gonna call someone.
Yeah, absolutely. Just during these COVID times, it's like, hey, how many people do we want in our house?
Yeah.
But, that is true. I think these are good kind of just lessons to learn for later on in life. So instead of just hiring a guy all the time, just learning the basics of, home renovation, just anything that goes wrong throughout a home's lifetime or your time in there. Just being able to do some stuff so you don't have to just have a service call every time someone comes for something that takes 2 minutes,
Yeah. Right.
And then when you're trying to fix something, you break something else, then you have to give a whole. Yeah, it's being a homeowner, I guess. But speaking on COVID and what's going on, what's like. I know we hear all the time the differences from last season to this season of like no fans and all that kind of stuff. But is there anything that was like not talked about that was maybe insignificant but annoying or something?
No. I mean, I think everything that was done protocol wise and I mean, the no fan, there wasn't really an annoying thing. The only thing that I would say was a little frustrating was we had to limit our time at the ballpark. And I'm kind of a baseball ballpark rat. Like I try to get there early and leave late just because I enjoy being there. I like taking my time, doing my routine, doing a crossword at the field, kind of having lunch there, chilling, having dinner, doing all of my recovery stuff that I have to do. And they limit it. You can only get there 6 hours before the game, and then you have to leave 90 minutes after the game. So like everything was kind of rushed. That was kind of annoying. And not being able to look at in-game video of your at bats or pitches and stuff like that. It was definitely frustrating, but I think that's going to be a new rule. I don't know if it's because of COVID. I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but I think it's going to be a new rule because of the cheating scandal stuff. So that was frustrating, and I know a lot of veterans are frustrated with that, not being able to. But actually, you know what? I think it might be because of this year, because we might not have allowed to have a certain amount of people in a room, because of, there was like two-person maximum in a small video room or something like that.
Crazy. What was it like? Because we, as Dodger fans, we got to see it firsthand with Corey and Kyle Seager playing one another and not being able to, do the normal routine. But you and your brother played against one another. What was that like, kind of pre-game, since I'm sure you imagined it happening a little bit differently than how it actually carried out?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was weird for sure. We weren't able to go to dinner the night before. We weren't able to hang out before. We saw each other when we were taking BP. He came out and we took some pictures, but it was definitely a different experience than what we thought, and our families weren't able to be there. So I know that was tough for them, and they wish they could be there. And we wish they could be there as well. It's it's something that doesn't happen very often. So I think I like I told my wife, and I've told a couple of friends, it was awesome to play my brother. I think it's going to be something that I'm really going to cherish later on in my life when baseball is said and done, and I can really reminisce and reflect back on it. But I think right now it wasn't anything that was, I think we expected to be here. Not in an arrogant way, but expected in like a, we had always been driven to be professional baseball players, and the end goal was to play in the big leagues and play in the big leagues against each other or with each other. So it was like we were constantly pushing to get there, and once it was able to happen, like, it's cool, but like we want to keep going. We don't want to. Yeah. We want to have it happen multiple times. So I think, it really, I guess, just hasn't really sunk in. And I don't think it's going to sink in until I'm done playing, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like some people, especially in the media, were like saying that you gave your brother a meatball because he ended one taking one hitting a home run. But did that get to you?
I mean, I've heard things. It's tough. Well, first of all, if you look at the pitch that he hit, it was actually a ball out of the strike zone up and away. And he hit it right down the line in right field, where it would never go out anywhere else, maybe except for Yankee Stadium. So it wasn't like it was a meatball. But, it's funny because every time I've played him in the minor leagues 3 times and now in the big leagues once. And every time, like, I've been catching while he's in the game. Every time he's 1 for 4 with a home run. So he's got 4 home runs. He's 4 for 12 with 4 home runs when I catch, which is it's pretty incredible.
So it's almost like if he goes 0 for 3, you just tell the pitcher, like, you need to hit this guy. Yeah. I can't have him get another home run off me.
Pretty much. I mean, I think it's happened twice or 3 times in the last at bat as well. So definitely next time we face him, if he's 0 for 3, then it's like I'll just stand up and I'll just say, hey, we're going to potentially walk you.
Well, he's praying to God that you don't end up in the Rangers organization, or you guys both end up somewhere together, because then his hot streak's gone. It's over.
That would be a cool thing to play with him. But yeah, 100%. I think he wants me behind the plate as much as he can, because if he's going 1 for 4 with a homer every single game, then he's doing something right, and he's going to play for a long time.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people talk to you about your magic. One thing that I'm always really curious about with people who do magic is what's like the best reaction you've gotten and like the worst reaction you've gotten out of somebody?
The best reaction is usually when like someone screams and like runs away. Those are the best. Like they're just in complete disbelief that was even possible. And so I love that. And the worst reaction, and believe it or not, it happens more times than you think, is you can probably guess it, but it's, I know how you did
that. Just ruins it.
95% of the time, literally 95% of the time, it's, I mean, once in a blue moon, I'll say, okay, like they'll explain to me how they thought I did it, and 95% of the time they're wrong. They just don't want to submit to like the illusion.
They don't want to get got.
They just don't want to get got. Yeah, I mean, it's basically what it came down to. It's like they don't want to get got, and they want to prove that you can't fool them, and they just can't enjoy it. But I think the people that kind of just don't really try and figure it out are the ones that enjoy it the most. So
yeah,
that's like me. I mean, I when I'm watching someone else do any sort of magic, I don't try and figure out how they do it. I just want to learn. I just want to know. Like, I want to be there and be present and just like enjoy what the end result is going to be. And then at the end, if I really want to learn it, or if I'm trying to figure out how to do it, then I'll replay it in my mind. You
don't always have to be cool guy. You could just watch the show and be amazed.
100%.
Have one thing, well, because I don't know if you've seen this clip, but David Blaine did some magic one time for like Harrison Ford, and he was like, "Get the fuck out of my house." Yeah. Like, has that ever happened to you?
With the card, well, I haven't really done it in houses like that, but yeah, that's the reaction that I like, where where people get mad. Because it's cool. Yeah, that happened. He did that with the orange, when he put a card in an orange. But those reactions are always what you kind of hope to get.
Yeah, I saw, and one thing, I guess, I saw the clip of you doing magic in the Diamondback clubhouse, right? The card trick with the flames and shit, right? And it's one thing that I picked up on, I guess, when you started talking about voodoo, right? And then you saw Jazz Chisholm was just kind of like, because I don't know if you know this, anybody with like pigment, right? Like me, if I hear voodoo or anything like supernatural, like I'm freaked out. Like we're like want to like light some sage and shit and like get out. Like it is spooky.
That's why the Dominicans and the Venezuelan guys I love doing magic for them, because some of them are like, no, this isn't real, and then they'll just be like, I know how you did that, but most of them will kind of just enjoy it and then have the best reactions at the end. That's what got me into it. I was playing there in 2015, and I knew some very simple card tricks. That's how I got into it, because of the reactions that I got. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like no one's came up to you with some sage or Palo Santo and just like, dude, you need some help. Because I wouldn't even watch like scary movies that have like demon possession. Like, no, bro. Once you let, because that's the thing. It's like once you let that in, bro, like you're fucked. Like I don't understand it, but I don't want to understand it.
You're a little scary baby. So last point on your magic.
That's why people like you always die in scary movies, because you're like, oh no, it's okay, it's haunted. It's a nice house.
God,
done.
You're such a baby. Do you foresee pursuing magic kind of like, if you're familiar with John Dornbos, the long snapper for the Eagles? Yeah. Is that kind of your trajectory after your playing career? Is maybe pursue magic in a more serious fashion?
I don't think so. I really have no idea, to be honest, but I don't really do it to gain any sort of like publicity or it's just I enjoy doing it for friends and family, but I don't know if like I'd only want to do that or have that be like a side gig, or I know some magicians and how they have to hustle, and it's tough. Like these guys are really good at what they do. John Dornbach, perfect example. He's really good at what he does. But like some of these guys, like he doesn't compare to. He's a very good person. Like he's a good show person, and he's got a really good like charisma and character. But like his skills don't really compare to the guys that have been doing it for their entire lives from 7 till whatever, 35.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can see it. If you really look, Shin Lim is one example who he's a person, he won America's Got Talent, but he's a person that hasn't been doing it for that long, but he was like a piano wizard until he got carpal tunnel and couldn't do it.
So he's just a genius.
Yeah, he has like finger dexterity like crazy, you know, and like just some of the stuff. I don't know. You just got to watch some like Penn and Teller fool us, and you'll see guys that do card stuff like Javi Benitez and all these just card freaks that are incredible with manipulating cards. Like, I mean, that would take me. It's like me starting from scratch and trying to be a Major League Baseball player. It's like from when I'm 20 years old and I've never played baseball.
Yeah.
Well, maybe like I've played in college. Like equivalent, I use my magic skills as the equivalent of maybe like a college level player, and it's like, and then I stopped playing for 7 years, and I'm like, oh, you know what, I want to go play pro ball. Yeah, it could happen, but
I think I'm just going to skip right up to the big league club. No minors. I'm just going to go for it.
The chances are slim. So I just enjoy doing it, and you know, if something happens later, great, but you know, I'm definitely not expecting it, and I'm not going to actively pursue it.
Well, I mean, even after your catching career, you definitely might have a tryout at least for a pitching career. You pitched last year. What was that like? Or how, you know what? Forget. I mean, yeah, how was it like? But also, like, how did that unfold?
Well, we were getting our ass kicked. You know.
Yeah.
That's usually how it starts.
We didn't have to go there. We could have just talked about the pitching.
I was behind the plate, you know. We just got beat, you know. We were getting beat. I was putting the wrong fingers down. That's usually how it happens. And we just, you know, they didn't want to use their bullpen. Cap just wanted to save the bullpen for the next day. And you know, he just asked me if I was asked earlier on a different day if I could pitch, like if I could throw strikes. I said, yeah, you know, it's really not that hard for me to throw strikes. So it just happened that day. I almost went into a different game, but it just happened that game that, you know, they didn't want to use anybody else. And they said, all right, go get them. Just throw strikes and let's try and get out of the inning.
Yeah. Ground out in a double play. You have a 0 ERA, which best on the Giants team. I mean, I'm not sure if you want to take that and wear that, or how does that make you feel?
I just try and do my job, honestly. Like anything I can do. I heard a funny tweet. Forgot who it was. Maybe it was like Mark Sanchez, who's he's a beat writer.
Giants writer, yeah, for KBR. Yeah.
He said something that like since the game that Tyler Heineman was the Giants' best reliever, the Giants have had like the second best ERA in all of baseball. And I was like, that's awesome. You know, maybe it set off some sort of just fire under our pitchers' butts, and they, you know, the second half of the season they really excelled and did an incredible job. So, you know, you can chalk that up to experience with young guys like Caleb Berger and stuff like that. But they did a tremendous job. So no, I'm not going to take it as I was the Giants' best reliever, but if in any way that I you know, gave them some perspective and they figured if I had any help in them doing better at the second half of the year, that's awesome. And I'm very happy for them and happy for the Giants.
Well, I'm sure no one wanted to lose their job to a catcher, so I'm sure they're all like, we need to get our shit together. This guy's blowing us out of the water right now.
I mean, maybe, you know, but also Dubon had made a nice play in center field, so
yeah,
that would have been a run. There was a double in there, so you get lucky every once in a while. I certainly can't do what these guys do on a daily basis on the mound. That's for sure.
Yeah, but it's always kind of fun to see and all that kind of stuff, especially in a blowout. You know, it's something to watch. But talking about, I was watching on your charity, and what it's called Prime Time.
Team Prime Time, yeah.
Team Prime Time. And you guys do events every single year to raise money.
So Team Prime Time is a nonprofit organization in Southern California. Well, I guess they're all over now. They're getting better. But basically, there's two parts of it. One part is Team Prime Time, which is an after-school program for at-risk youth kids that is designed to try and improve graduation rates, decrease juvenile crime, and kind of fit them and mold them the way that just to get further their education, potentially further education, go to college and get into the working world. The thing that my family, my brother and I, my dad fell in love with was the Primetime Games, which was these at-risk youth kids. These at-risk youth kids are they become the peer coaches or mentors for children with disabilities, and they pair up with children with disabilities, and Team Primetime produces a league that plays like schools with kids with disabilities play other schools. And it's not in it's like a high school type league. So think like high school baseball, but it's a different league where these kids play against each other, and they can enjoy the high school experience of being an athlete. Because you know how it is, like high school and stuff, everything is starting to get more competitive. So a lot of these kids with disabilities, they're not really able to join the baseball team because they'll get cut,
Yeah.
And so this allows them to still have that experience and kind of learn the valuable lessons that a lot of athletes learn. There's so much accountability, time management, teamwork, all the winning, being a good sport, all these things that, I learned through sports. Obviously there are other ways to learn it, but I learned through sports and my brother learned through sports, and it helped us kind of shape the people that we are today. So it just allows them an avenue to explore that and to learn that. And, for the kids that are at risk, the ones that are mentoring these children with disabilities, they get a different perspective. They're like, wow, my life really isn't that bad. Or, they get a lot more out of it than you would think. And it's just it's a very nice, it's just such a heartwarming type organization. But anyway, so my parents, my dad and my brother and I, we have we wanted to help out in any way we could. And a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, we started to kind of ask whatever we could do. And we just decided to hold a poker charity event. 2 years ago was the first year, and try to raise money for them. And so, we raised $50,000 the first year, and then last year we raised $80,000. So we're trying to get exposure for them and all that.
And obviously you can't hold an event this year, at least for I'm not sure exactly what time of year you were going to hold it, but is there anything, as listeners can do to support that? It's just donations, or is there anything coming up?
There is donations and stuff. Obviously you can just go to teamprimetime.org and learn more about it. But we are doing an event. We're doing a virtual event on January 28th. It looks like it's not set in stone right now, but we don't want to lose the momentum of the people that have really been supporting us, and we also just just because of COVID and all that stuff, these guys are still doing virtual events and all that. So, we want to do the best we can to continue with helping them out in any way. So usually it's been a poker event. So we're figuring out a way to do a virtual poker event with obviously virtual auctions and all that stuff. But so nothing set in stone, but my agent is working really hard with the primetime director, and we're hopeful that we're going to get something done.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be hanging out, so a virtual thing might just be, might even get more and not as much overhead too with everything setting up. So that could be a good thing.
That's what we hope.
Definitely. So, so catching Johnny Cueto, what's the hardest thing about catching Johnny Cueto?
He's really easy to catch, honestly. I think
Really?
the biggest thing is just trying to learn how he likes to go about his game plan and just working with him and knowing what he likes to do and getting his trust. He's been around the game for a long time. He's been an incredible pitcher in the big leagues for a very long time. And if you show him that you care and that you're working to the best of your ability to get him through his outing and get us close to a win, he'll love you. And it's just putting time and learning how he likes to go about hitters and listening and just reading his body language. But it takes time. It takes a lot of time to learn that. Some catchers learn it quicker than others, but he's pretty easy to catch. And that shimmy stuff and all the shakes, that messes up the hitter for sure, the timing wise. But for us, I mean, you're still waiting to catch the ball, and then when he releases it, you catch it. So
yeah. I was going to ask the beginning of the interview too. Did you want me to before I ask a question, kind of give maybe a quick question? The whole knee thing, right? And the scooting up, what they had you do, was that like something like kind of like at another universe, or was it just like a simple, adjustment, or what exactly was the adjustment there?
Yeah, you talking about like the reasoning for like catcher's interference and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm trying to think about the best way to say this. I am I'm like an elite pitch framer with nobody on base and like a very below average pitch framer with people on base. So if you look at the numbers, even the numbers this year, I just got some numbers. I was, again, with my amount of pitches caught and stuff, I think I only played 13 games, but like I was near the top in SL plus, which is strikes looking something or whatever, with nobody on, and then near the bottom with runners on. So a lot of that has to do with my setup and how far away I am from the hitter, because I tend to go out and reach for balls. And so in the beginning of the year, obviously you guys were watching the first game of the year because you're both Dodgers and Giants fans. If you remember, Drew Smiley was throwing, and he threw a lot of, and so did Jimenez. He threw a lot of pitches that clipped the bottom of the zone, breaking balls that it looked like I caught like crap, because the reason is I'm super far back from the hitter, and the only way I can catch the ball is to go down and get it, because I'm super, like my positioning from the hitter is so far back, and the ball, a curveball or a slider, but it's basically been their curveballs, like gravity brings it down. So the farther back you are, the lower you're going to have to catch the ball. So I was very far back, and we did some research and looked, and basically it was like trying to find a way to scoot up in the box behind the plate and take away some of that break so that I can catch the ball a little bit higher and with a little bit more, I guess, strength in my arm to catch it and hold it there. Rather than if I'm fully extended, obviously you guys know the whole thing. I'll try and when you're kind of bent a little bit, you have more strength. When you're fully extended, it kind of is more shoulder and not elbow, and you just don't have as much strength. So obviously the farther back you are, you're gonna have to catch it with more of an extended elbow. So you don't have as much strength. So we were we're toying around with it and trying to figure out what the best way possible to do it is. And we thought, moving up in the box was the key. And, early on, I think, I had the next game, I had a catcher's interference, and then I had one at home against San Diego, and then I had one against the Rockies. So obviously that's frustrating, but it ended up not really costing us. So despite what people said, and how many people, especially writers, say the defense, it costed the defense. It really didn't, because no runs came of it.
Yeah, no runs came of it.
In all three of the times. But you know what? Mm-hmm. It's okay. I will take blame for it, because it's something that I was working on, and it's no fault of anybody else. But that frustrates me when people say very costly defense. It didn't cost us. My pitcher bailed me out every single time. So
everyone just loves to be a critic.
Yeah,
Everyone
exactly.
Loves being a critic.
And I think it's really the thing that stands out to me with hearing your explanation is that's an opening day adjustment. I feel like, I mean, hearing these, obviously listening to like KMBR and stuff, I feel like they made it seem like this was an adjustment they were having you do in spring training, and then it was like, well, spring training got cut short, so then like, it was just like unfamiliarity with the new way they want you to scoot up or whatever the deal is. But that makes sense. You're trying to like adjust on the fly. And if you're used to being in a certain position, I mean, just think of something that you do, obviously as a normal person, think of something you do every single day, whether it be, something minor. You can't just, if you have a habit of doing something, like you do it a bunch, you can't just change the habit like that, and if you're doing stuff in mid-season, it's kind of hard to like go around those kind of things.
Mid-season, when you're thrust into a opening day starter role that was given to Posey, because Posey is one of the best of all time. You have to manage a staff while trying to figure out how you can try and stay in the big leagues and perform in the big leagues. And then people are giving you a lot of crap for things you're doing. It was difficult, but I think we're doing it for a good reason. And if you can look back at my entire minor league career, I've had one catcher's interference in my entire life. So obviously we were doing something different. But we learn and we try and get better. And like I said, it still didn't really work too much with the runners on. My strikes looking above average was still pretty poor. Overall, it was good because, again, I'm very good with nobody on base. But so obviously that wasn't the reason why I wasn't getting the strikes called with runners on base. So it's back to the drawing board this offseason and trying to figure out a way to do it so that I can, kind of get closer to even. It's always going to be better when no one's on base because you don't have to worry about blocking. But the closer I am to even, the more I'm going to be up near the top of where I want to be. All the reporters and stuff during COVID, they weren't able to come up and ask me questions. It was all via Zoom, so it's hard to get stuff lost it's very easy to get stuff lost in translation. So, it's not their fault. Everyone's trying to do the best they can and reporting on it. But, it is a quirky stat, 3 catches interference is like the most since, I don't even know. I think it was Gary Sanchez. I got a bunch of hate threats, but, that comes with the territory. And, I had a lot of nice things from a lot of people as well. Giants fans are, they're very passionate about their team. And, there's nothing but it's amazing to have no matter what. You're going to have some haters every once in a while, but
did you get more hate for that or calling San Francisco San Fran?
The San Fran thing, probably. I had no idea about that. So,
and I honestly am not, because I've never lived in San Francisco ever. So I don't really care, and to see people get so crazy about that stuff is kind of funny. But then again, I think of things I get crazy about. And I'm like, I guess maybe. But I'm
never gonna rag on somebody for their opinion. And if I don't know, someone just informs me. The first person said, "Hey, just don't call it that." Like one of the first people, and I was like, "Oh, I apologize immediately." And I was like, "Sorry, I'm new."
It's my first
day. Like Joe Dirt, I'm new. I don't know what to do.
Well, no, I'm glad that you guys brought that up, because now I will be officially just referring to the Giants as the San Fran Giants forever. So that's a nice little thing.
There had to be like
some
part of you that kind of wanted to be like, dude, fuck it, San Fran. Just tweet San Fran in all caps.
I respect it. The people, they love their city, and they have a lot of pride for it. So, I respect it.
Tyler, man, we really appreciate your time, man. I don't want to, keep you on for too long and make you have to tell us, hey, I got to get the hell out of here. But we do these little send-offs, like little slow pitch questions. They're kind of like rapid fire, but kind of slower. That's why we call them slow pitch. Yeah, you up for it?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Okay. Favorite high school jam?
Wow. Let's go with oh my gosh. I don't remember. It's an Usher song.
I got a bunch of Usher songs. You Got It Bad.
No. It's like a mainstream Usher song.
How is You Got It Bad not a mainstream Usher song?
No, okay, yes it is. That is. But I'm saying like it's more upbeat, like dancey than that. Like
Love in This Club?
No.
I don't think I know any Usher songs.
How do you not know any Usher songs? You don't have to call. It's okay, girl. You know what I'm talking about.
Come back to this one. But it's definitely an Usher song, because this is rapid fire, so it might come back to me because it's a slow pitching arc.
I got you. So. Okay, hottest take on food.
I go tahini on watermelon. Tahini spice on watermelon.
And the thing
is, that's a hot take. That's just delicious. I feel like that should be universally agreed upon.
Okay, I don't know. I didn't know that until last year, and when my wife introduced it to me. But it's like the best thing ever. So I don't.
That's funny because
snack now.
I get ragged on this all the time because it's a very Mexican thing. Like all the fruit stands, they all put tahini and
I know
chamoy, all that stuff. I am one that I can't stand that shit. I just love watermelon's literally my favorite. In summer, I'll buy the quarter watermelons and I'll just eat it with a spoon.
Yeah. You really are the biggest baby I know.
I don't want anything on it. Watermelon's so fucking perfect, dude. Why do you want to mess with it?
I know. I clearly struck a nerve when I saw you drop your pen right when I said that.
I don't know. I don't know if you have the occasional drink, Tyler, but if you do,
or an alcoholic,
a mango margarita with tahini on the rim instead of salt, it is excellent. It's perfection.
I'll try it. I'll try it.
Michelada.
You're gonna love it.
If you could strike anybody out, who would that be?
Joey Votto.
Joey Votto. Is there a backstory behind that? Did he dog you at when you were a kid or something?
No, I just think he's one of the best hitters in baseball. And,
yeah, that makes sense.
Doesn't strike out very often and prides himself on not striking out. So I've also heard he's one of the toughest at bats in baseball from numerous pitchers, just because he spoils pitches and he just doesn't strike out. Obviously, I would think Mike Trout, but Mike Trout strikes out a lot because he takes a lot of pitches. Mookie Betts is another one. Just guys that don't strike out very often would be cool to strike out.
Good. All right. I guess we always ask this as a hypothetical, but what is your walk-up song?
My walk-up song last year was Magic Man by Heart.
By Heart. I don't think I know that one.
Don't know it either.
It's an older song.
Look
it up.
Gosh.
It's got a cool guitar.
Good. Little
yeah, pretty much.
Karaoke song.
All of Me by John Legend.
Dang, so you got some pipes, or you just clear out a bar?
Both, but I think it's clear out a bar. But my wife really likes when I sing John Legend or Josh Turner, because I can like sing low. I can not like baby lock them door. Like I can learn how to do that.
I cannot, but that's literally the song I was thinking, which is weird because I'm not a country guy at all, but that's literally the song I was thinking of.
She likes when I talk like that and can sing like that, so I just do it to appease her, but I still think I'm terrible.
Wives are into weird things, you know?
Gotta love it.
It's inexplainable. Go to dessert.
Oh man. Oh, there's too many. I would probably say like a sprinkles cupcake. Have you ever had sprinkles? You know what sprinkles is?
Mm-hmm. Those are the ones with like the vending machines too, right?
Did you just like Sprinkles is a company?
Yeah.
Not actual sprinkles, you ding dong.
I was like, Tyler, I know this isn't a full body camera, but I'm not the slimmest. Of course, I know what sprinkles are.
Sprinkles, red velvet cupcakes are my favorite by far.
That's a great choice. I back that 100%.
Yeah.
What would your profession be? Say what?
I said we got a Dodger fan back in it, so there you go.
Yeah. That kind of brings the stock down. What would your profession be if you weren't a catcher?
Something to do with the body, maybe like some of what my wife does, a physical therapist or a physician's assistant. I really like how the body works and just basically the rehab behind it, just getting people back to normal. So something like that, I think.
So your wife's a physical therapist?
People pleaser.
She is. She's a.
Do you ever annoy the shit out of her, being like, I got this sore shoulder? I
just did 10 hours, and you want me to work on you?
Only all the time.
I know you're like the worst.
Gets fed up with me, but I just say, listen, if you want to not work in 10 years. Trying to get me right up. I'm your best shot of having an early retirement. Not saying it's nearly even close to guaranteed, but I'm your best. I am your best shot.
Yeah, I can't risk the at-home repairs, and you need to get my body right.
Unless you come up with an invention that physical therapists use where you're making a lot of money, I'm your best shot at not working. As I get older, it's starting to slim down a little bit, but still got a chance.
Yeah, definitely. How does your wife feel about the Magic? Is she like excited about it, or is she kind of like, oh fuck, here he goes again?
Well, she's one of the people that I demo on, so she sees a lot of the stuff before it's actually really done. So she kind of gets annoyed about it, but she's a trooper. She stays with it, and she always encourages me in everything I do. So. It's a blessing for sure.
That's not. Yeah, I do stand-up comedy, so I tell all my jokes to my wife beforehand. She fucking crushes me all the time. So
that's the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
That's what love is.
That's what love. Yeah.
You want an honest and ruthless love.
Like that shit's weak, dude. No, that ain't funny at all.
If you could hit a home run off any pitcher in the league, who would it be?
In the major leagues, or are you talking about softball?
No, in both. Why not? In major leagues and in a softball rec league.
We just have that's our segment. We call it soft. We just have shitty titles. But wherever you're thinking.
Who you going yard off?
In the big leagues, who am I going yard off of?
And remember, you got to pimp it too. So if this is going 800 feet dead center, and you're going to pimp it,
I would say Garrett Cole probably, just because I played with him.
Good answer.
I played with him, and that'd be a cool. I think he's one of the best in the game, and I think that'd be a cool home run, especially catching him and then playing against him. Softball, obviously, Jenny Finch.
See, I was thinking more like a, old Greg Maddux who's just like in the adult league because like, fuck it, why not? But that Jenny Finch is a good answer.
If it's going to be any old timer, it's going to be Bartolo Colon.
Oh, big sexy. Ooh. But if you pimp anything off old timer, I don't care if it's softball. They're going to they're going to find their 90 mile per hour fastball again and try to hit you in the back of the head.
But remember, it's 90 miles an hour because they're an old timer.
Yeah.
Only the new guys now. Everybody throws 95 plus. The old guys topped
You'll
out.
have time to move.
The old guys topped out at 90, but that game was a lot harder back then. The game was a lot harder back then, though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know we're supposed to go, but are you kind of on that train where it's like Babe Ruth wouldn't last in this league today? Tyler hung up on us. He's done.
No, I'm here.
He's like, should I answer this or?
I think that you can only really evaluate talent based on who you're playing. So, what he did with the people he played against is absolutely incredible. And, I think that like Mike Trout, in my opinion, is the best well, you got Barry Bonds, but I think Mike Trout's like the best baseball player of all time, because I think that like, if he went back in time, like he's gonna do what Ted Williams did. He's gonna do what Tony Gwynn did. Like,
oh yeah.
I think the amount of look, I'm not taking anything away from any of those guys that are incredible, but the game is just different. Those guys like Mike Trout are only facing starting pitching 2 times through the order, maybe 3 times if that guy's cruising. These guys faced the starter for like the whole 9 innings, or maybe
for a 16-inning game.
Like, yeah, like you're
300
facing
pitches.
Just look at how many complete games there were back then. Look how many innings like Cy Young and guys like that. Nobody's ever going to throw 300 innings again, ever. Like, it's not going to happen because bullpens are too good. 200 innings is an incredible year. Like, bullpens are too electric. Got too many guys that can throw games and have a nasty slider. And like, it's just, I think the game's just evolving, and just I think it's tough when you're seeing improvements in like science and physical therapy, and then you're seeing the players like maximize their abilities. More people now throw harder and hit the ball farther than the people back then. Not saying that some guys weren't freaks and could do it, but like, it's happening more regularly now. So like the overall competition is elevated, in my opinion. But, it's an opinion of mine. I think that, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Absolutely. 100%. But, my opinion is, the game is tougher from a physical and just skills standpoint now than it was back then.
Yeah. I mean, you look in 5 years from now, there's going to be drive lines in every major league, every system's going to have the drive line stuff. Everyone has the Rapsodo, and they're, doing spin rate. I mean, to even put that in like the same category as back in the day, I don't even think it's close.
I mean, just look at like Trevor Bauer's perfect example, and you guys didn't ask me about it, but like, look at Trevor Bauer's improvements throughout his career, and especially like this year. That guy works harder, or just basically harder than I've ever seen anybody work. He was my roommate in college. So like, he put himself on the map. Like, I think if you look at spin rates and Rapsodo data and stuff, like all of his spin rates and spin efficiencies were near the top or at the top in the big leagues this year. And that wasn't the case last year and the year before and the year before that. So like people are just taking, and he's a very analytical person, and he takes all the data and stuff. Like, people are using the data and making themselves better and a better version of themselves. And so, Bauer takes all this data, already works really hard, figures a way to work it out, and he's the 2020 NL Cy Young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
well, and just him,
Garrett Cole comes to the Astros. They learn to throw a four seam with more spin. He becomes a whatever he signed for, $200 million player, as opposed to his 2 to 3 starter type numbers when he was in Pittsburgh. It's just people are improving themselves because they have the skills, and then now they're getting information to back that up and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, even on Trevor Bauer's, he vlogged this whole season, just seeing all the stuff that goes into why he's so analytically driven and what that means is, I mean, it's crazy that, no one else is really doing it as hardcore as he is, but I think that's about to shift. But I remember even, 2011, 13, somewhere around there when we first came up with Arizona, being at a game and watching him warm up and him just throwing foul pole to foul pole, that is something I had never seen before. And even then I thought this is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Yeah. But he's just a different breed.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people a lot of players in general don't like to cloud their mind with too many things. So some people can take it, some people use information and have it work to their advantage, and other people it's like analysis by paralysis, or paralysis by analysis. Sorry, right. So, you know what I mean? Like
all words I don't know, so that's
a lot of athletes
all over my head.
A lot of athletes are just they're field type players, and they try and feel things through, and they don't care about the numbers. The numbers are going to be there, if they improve their skills, and other people are trying to actively change their numbers, and it helps them. You know what I mean? It teaches his own, and as long as people are working hard and trying to get better, that's the whole goal,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely because we talk about that. I don't want to say a lot, but it's come up multiple times, and that's something that we didn't even think about, talking about seeing, starting pitcher the entire game, and how that's obviously easier in the upgrade in the level of relievers now. I mean, we always talked about, the level of play, just because at the time of Babe Ruth, they weren't even letting everyone play. Only white guys could play the game, and then also a lot of those guys had jobs in the offseason. They weren't like baseball players, so it's crazy not to think, in my opinion, that today's games players are better than the players back then.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but like I said, it seems like a lot of the people that are arguing this statement are guys that watched, my dad's one to watch Johnny. I mean, he's come to the conclusion now that we are better players than they were back then. But it took a lot of convincing, because, he loved Johnny. He's a Reds fan, loved Johnny Bench, Pete Rose. Like, he's just, the game is just evolved. There's no more bunting. It's like less stealing. Like, he liked the grinder, nitty gritty game.
Even equipment too, like the gloves. I mean,
the
outfield gloves now are like this big, and they can
14 inches,
dive and exactly. Like, so there's a lot of hits getting robbed there.
Like pimping home runs. It's just, it's a different game, and a lot of people that loved America's pastime, are not the quickest to come around to the new age of how baseball is coming. And I think they'll come around, but if they don't, they
got
don't.
to now.
Yeah.
So yes, we're gonna let you go, Tyler, man. I'm sorry we kept you so long. We really appreciate you coming on, and don't want to waste any more of your time. So hopefully, you'll come back on at some point.
Yeah, no worries. And that song was "Yeah" by Usher.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I know that one. I know that one. I thought that was Little John.
I'm sure. I think he's in there as well. But
he is in it. But yes,
it's an Usher song, and
it's an Usher song. Yes,
I went to a primarily Jewish high school, and we had a lot of bar mitzvahs in like 7th grade, and that was like the jam.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's interesting. I went to one bar mitzvah, one bat mitzvah in my day, but I don't think Usher was played at any of those.
Every single weekend I went to a bat or a bar mitzvah.
Okay, so you're equivalent
to
like a bar mitzvah. Off. Yeah. You're equivalent to like a bar mitzvah, because I'm Mexican, is like a baby shower. Like, there's always a fucking baby shower or quinceañera or every single weekend.
Every single weekend. I mean, we had 70. I want to say we had 70 people in our class. 70. It was a very small school, and I want to say 62 of them were Jewish. I was one of the only ones that was not Jewish. Just
really?
Yes, but they throw a killer party. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And here I am, just the lonely Armenian kid, not going to parties, bar mitzvahs, quinceañeras every weekend, just totally deprived.
You're Armenian and you didn't go to parties? They all
not like coming of age, like bar mitzvah, or quinceañeras. I mean, yeah, there's still parties.
I'm just saying when I went to go check out wedding venues, 90% of them were Armenian.
Just because we do it the best.
90%.
It is what it is.
They know how to throw a haul. I gotta tell you that. Have a haul and yeah. So, thanks again, Tyler. Man, we really do appreciate it. And we're gonna let you go so you don't want to block us forever. But yeah, thanks again, man. And we hope to have you back on sometime.
No problem. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Benchies. This is welcome to our award show. It's very important. I'm sure all these players are going to be so happy with the awards we're about to give out. The Benchies. Here's one right here. It's really great. We're going to ship it out, and I'm sure they're going to be so excited. Tyler, why don't you get us started? Poll time.
So we put out some polls for you guys this week, and the first one we asked was, who was your MVP this season? So for the Dodgers,
first Benchy goes to.
We gave you the choices of Corey Seager, Mookie Betts, Clayton Kershaw, and Julio Urias. Mookie Betts won by a slim margin, so Mookie, come on down and get your Benchy. Give us a call. I know you just bought an $8 million mansion today, in Encino, California, so we're not that far from one another. But Mookie edged out Corey Seager 47% to 44%.
I'm sure he's going to put it right next to his actual MVP.
Yeah. I think he's going to get his own separate trophy case for the bench.
I was a little shocked that Seager was that close. If you're including postseason, maybe not. But if you're not,
and I think that's kind of the issue is some people probably did and some people didn't. Because if we were just talking about the postseason, Corey Seager wins by a landslide. But Corey Seager did have a great regular season, so yeah. I don't think it should have been that close, but I understand.
But Mookie was just fucking stupid. Now to the Giants side. Giants Benchy. This is going to be this guy's little fat little circle guy. TY. This is going to MVP. Mike Yastrzemski. Woo! It's obvious. I mean, Donnie Barrels, Brandon Belt, and Gausman were on it. Barrels actually got some decent amount of votes, 17%. But yeah, defense ain't there, so I don't think it's gonna work for you. But Yastrzemski, it was a landslide. It is what it is. I'm sure you're very happy with it.
And for the best Benchy of the episode, this Dodgers World Series champion candle for the Dodgers best rookie is going to be going to Brusdar Graterol, my boy Brusdar. He edged out Victor Gonzalez, Dustin May, and Tony Gonsolin. I personally voted for Tony Gonsolin. That's just me.
I was saying, I don't understand why he's so low.
Yeah, he was almost
Dustin
last.
May. Yeah.
I think Dustin May is just kind of the bigger name, but if you look at the numbers,
yeah,
Tony Gonsolin has it.
Yeah, Graterol I think is just popular. That's what it is.
He's so cool. I love that man.
And now to the Benchy for the Giants side. Best rookie of the year, whatever you want to call it. Just call him Mauricio Dubon, the Karate Kid. So yeah, that is him. Mauricio, I personally voted for Caleb Berger. Berger. Guy was Balaga. The dude was super reliable. I think his ERA number was a little inflated because there was like 2 blow-up games, but he just came through time and time again. But I can't hate the Mauricio Dubon one because Mauricio Dubon is just the shit. Learned a whole new position. Had some great offensive numbers. Mauricio Dubon, excited for the dude. All your dreams have come true. You've won a Benchy.
And for the last poll of the week, we asked who was the Dodgers' best reliever in 2020. And come on down, Brusdar Graterol again.
Mm-hmm.
Getting 40% of the vote, edging out Blake Trinan, Victor Gonzalez, and just for the hell of it, we threw Kenley Jansen in there. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Blake Trinan on this one.
Yeah, so So did my guy at Deuterino, Big Easy. Love the guy. He wanted Blake Trinan as well.
I don't know him, but I can tell I like him.
Oh, that's it? I thought you were going to give a little bit more of an explanation.
No, I mean, Bruzdar was good. I mean, he was great, but I think you have Blake Trinan coming in more high leverage situations. And then if we're talking postseason, if we're including that, he came in some high leverage situations. So did Victor Gonzalez, which I think warrants him getting 20% of the vote. I don't know. I have a better feel with Blake Trinan, but I do love me some Bruzdar.
Yeah.
That guy's my boy.
Yeah, and I guess Bruzdar is for sure coming back next year. We'll see about Trinan. Hopefully he'll be wearing some black and orange. And as we're talking about black and orange relievers, it's time for the Giants benchy. We're going to give the best reliever to Tony Watson, who hopefully will be coming back next year because he was the Giants' best reliever. Second place coming is Caleb Berger, again with 31%. I wish Wandy Peralta got a little bit more love because his numbers were great. But
maybe Tony Watson becomes a Dodger again. Who knows?
No, he doesn't like the Dodgers. He was bummed on the Dodgers. He told me
he hates winning. No,
he was like, no, I don't want to be on the Dodgers anymore.
I don't want to win a World Series.
Fuck them.
Yeah, I doubt it. All right, well, that pretty much wraps it up for us. As always, this episode was brought to you by Renovation Candle Company, where you can save 20% when you use promo code BENCHES. Stack up on all your holiday, fall, whatever candles you need. They got them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do. Get them while they're hot. We're going to leave a link in the descriptions for the Team Prime Time, the charity for Tyler Heineman. Thank him again for coming back on. Congratulations to all the Benchies winners. I know this is the greatest achievement of your career, and we are happy to give them to you. And thank you guys for listening. If I could give you a Benchie, I would, just for listening. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next week. Fuck Aubrey Huff.
Fuck him.
In the ass.